उभा बदन आवाज.
हाँ पण move forward. Okay, you are also part of the group, no? Go ahead. I got you. Come. No, Dada. Join.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sanand.
Okay. You might
Wait for the students to come.
We will divide this field into groups.
Okay.
Okay. So why don't you first explain to the group?
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sanand Hitachi Higher Power Electronics. I am Jay Patel. I am your production engineer. So you are in IIT Gandhinagar, right? Let's start first with the store. Okay. Come.
Okay.
હું થોડુંક ચાલુ કરું પછી
હા.
So, see, any factory will have incoming area for material. The raw material, this is all the raw material you see here in the boxes. So all this raw material has to be inspected, that the quality is right, whether there's no failure in the box when it comes in. So we have a QC department, quality control department, where we have some test equipments there, where what they do is they open the box, samples, I mean all these materials, they take samples out of this and one by one inspect it. And if it's okay, then they put a green sticker on this, the quality is okay. And then it just comes in this. Okay. So basically, this is a rapid shutter. So if you see, this is shutter is basically can go high speed up and down. Special kind of a shutter to prevent dust. This is the electronics manufacturing facility. So in electronics or electrical power electronics products, dust is the biggest enemy. So that gives the most failure of the product basically when you have dust and things like that. So that is why you see this floor here in the whole factory is anti-static. So you don't need to wear. You can wear these kinds of shoes and work on the equipment because it's all static free. Static electricity is the biggest killer of IGBT, the power electronic devices, right? Any electronic devices. That is why the flooring is special coated, and we have taken a lot of care to make sure the dust is prevented. So there's a very high level of dust control. 0.3 micron, less than 0.3 micron dust is present in the factory floor. That is why we have conditioning system like chillers, air conditioning, and blowers basically, which suck the air out. We have constant circulation of air to make sure that there's a positive pressure differential between the inside and the outside, so that the dust does not come in the factory. That is why it's a controlled environment inside. Right? So this is the incoming area, QC area, and QC raw material, everything is inspected there, and then it comes in the store.
Only parts of manufacture like inspected individually.
No, so out of all those samples,
Only a few of
they take
them will be
samples,
taken.
random samples, and that's what it is. So that is very big class.
Yeah, that is.
Then this is the store area. This is where all the material is kept when it comes in the factory new. Basically, so this is where it's all stored. And we have a very labeling system in terms of inventory control, in terms of how much, by looking at the labels only you can figure out how old the inventory is. But we have a special coding system there. And that is how we store the material.
samples are coming and you are judging only 5. If unfortunately 5 are
So there is a whole probability.
so there are any steps or something that you in the first turn you will judge for whole stack, and in the next step
See, what happens is, depends on the vendor. Right? If the vendor is new, or if there's a new vendor for your raw material, you take special precautions in the first time. The second time it's applied. You inspect more, do more rigorous inspection. When the vendor is older and it's proven quality, then you don't need to inspect everything that they send. You only inspect certain samples. That is how we do it. And so all the material is stored here, and and it's all monitored by CCTV camera. This is a store area. All the raw material there. Things like copper bus bars, panel doors, panel screws, capacitors, IGBTs, all semiconductor equipment components are stored here. Okay? Whatever we require for manufacturing. So this is what you say. This is called the end of the store area where we things are kept. So when any new order comes into a factory, what happens? When any customer places an order on equipment, what happens? It goes through our whole cycle of engineering, and engineering releases a work order for production to manufacture. So without a work order, nothing can be started in production floor. Right? Until then, everything is done in the office on the computer. Right? Design, engineering, when all that is complete, the drawing is complete of the equipment they're going to make or the panel they're going to make, then it comes to the work order, then it comes to the production. So, and the production gets multiple work orders a day. There's a production factory also, production engineer like him, they plan the whole schedule. In a given week or given month, there's a whole schedule that these are the number of jobs that you will do and the number of things will be produced and manufactured. And based on that, the material is from the store is taken out of the store and kept on pallets like this. Right? Where, as per the work order,
They can use it and
as per the work order, the material is prepared. For this work order, I know I need these many things. There's a whole list of things I need. I take it out from the store and put it on the pallets. Right? And ready for the next phase of operation.
These pellets also are color coded?
No. These are standard pallets that we have. Right? So, and we have a forklift. Instead of lifting the pallet, we have a forklift, right, which moves the pallets to the station.
everyday feedback something is there.
Huh?
If you are desired to make 50 components and you are not able to make 50, you make 45 in a day. So is there any feedback thing, something?
Yes, we'll go through the whole thing. So there's a whole schedule of things and there's a whole defined time period in how much things you have to make in how much time. If there's an overlap, then that has to be done in extra time or in overtime, right? Or has to be caught up somehow. But the production in a given month has to be finished someday. I mean, typically what happens is when the material is there, it doesn't, the overlap or overrun is not much. Only time overrun is there when there's some material shortage. When you're sometimes when you're assembling things and you find out, oh, I did not have that, and that is not available in the store, and that vendor is not given that material yet. So then usually then that thing is stuck on the assembly line, and there's an overrun. And so when all material is there, these guys are very well trained. There's usually no overrun when everything is there.
How many shifts do you have?
Typically we have one shift from 8:30 to 5:30, but this is the last quarter of the year and a lot of load on the factory, so we have run a second shift, right? Starting from 3 to 12. Yes.
And how many people on one shift?
One shift is roughly 30 people.
30 people, yeah.
How do you pay this?
So I'll come to that. Right? So this is all, if you see, pallets and basically preparing the material for the work orders, right? Different work orders. Okay. start our. This is kind of a forklift we use, right, for lifting the pallets or material, bring the material to the assembly area. From here the assembly starts. This is the assembly line. This line and this line. Two lines we have, assembly. So typically we make here drives, medium variable frequency drives, medium voltage and low voltage, up to all the way up to 11 kV, 11,000 volts drives, as well as starting from 415 volt drives also. So make small and big drives. That is what we make in this factory. Right? So these are typically put in panels like these. Right? So
It's a drive.
drive.
What's a drive?
The drive is basically used to control a motor. In any industrial plant you go, right? Like if you go to a refinery, if you go to an oil and gas installation, or if you go to a steel plant, there are so many motors, and motors are basically used to control the process. Like if you have a process control application like a mixer, or if you have a pump or a fan, right, in a process plant. These are big fans and big pumps to basically pump the water or control the process, keep the cool temperature control in a process plant. So we control, these are basically speed control is done with drives. So when you have a motor and when you plug the motor to, when you give the power to the motor will run at constant speed. Right? There's no speed variation in the motor because it runs at 50 hertz. You get 50 hertz frequency power from the grid and the motor will run at 50 hertz speed. There's no change in speed. Now if you want to change the speed of the motor, you need a drive, which is why it is called a variable speed drive. That is what is. Huh? Exactly. You can set the speed, you can set the set point, and you can control the motor at different speeds, which is what is required for a process application. You don't want to run the motor at the same speed. You have to control the process properly. So that is what we make here, and we make drives from all the way up to 75 kilowatt power, all the way up to 10,000 kilowatts. So that is the range of the products that we make in this factory. And the voltage ratings that which drives run are 415 volt, all the way up to 11,000 volts input. 11 kV we call it. Right? So that is the range of the products we make in this plant. This plant is designed for that. Yeah. So this is where the assembly line starts, right? And here we have the, you can explain this a little better than me.
We have the skill map. If each and every worker working here, they have trained for 1 month after joining, and then after test will conduct for there, and each and every worker which is the expert in which thing, that will you can see here. If X worker is here, he is fitting. He is doing fitting well. He's cleared the fitting exam, so he is doing here fitting. Such another is for wiring, that is Natwar Asoda. It is good for he test is conducted and he will pass. So for March 2014 he will do wiring. Then in March 2014 the another test is conducted for his growth. Every 6 months there will be a test for each and every worker working over here. So as per the test schedule, each and every worker will go to exam, and then the result will come and it will declared over here.
This is a very structured process for training and retraining of assembly workers and production engineers. Let's say everybody has a different skill set, and they start with that, and then they're tested, and then given new responsibility, and retested, and given new responsibility. So they get better and better and better. And the training is done by Hitachi, our Hitachi certified training instructors that we have. They go to Japan for training. They're special on the assembly line. And that's how they come up with the certificates. And they train the trainers. They train the assembly workers and build the skills that way. So when these guys get very fast and good over a period of time. Right? And this is basically the kind of the work orders, as I said, in terms of the number of things has to be completed in a given week or a given 2 weeks. This is how it is laid down. Okay. Yeah. So these are the, if you see here on the top you have blue line, which is the air, pneumatic. All the tools used for assembly are pneumatic operated. Right? So they just fit in the tool there and you do the screw or rivets or whatever you have to do. So since these are very high powered devices, automated like robots or something is not possible because these are very higher rating components. It has to be done by hand. Anywhere you go, these are very high powered things, that's why it has to be done by hand. You see here, come closer a little bit. This is one capacitor. These are power devices, one power capacitor we call. And we basically assemble the cells in this area by hand. Everything is done by hand. So in an assembly line, the worker needs to know where to put what components. Right? So all the drawings, engineering drawings, are transferred into 3D CAD drawings, and we have a special system here where the workers just need to go through one by one, and it's all done in 3D assembly drawings. So when the work order is released from engineering side, the drawing also is released with that, and the drawing is converted into 3D form, and the assembly workers look at that. So it's very easy to identify